Love it. Love it.
So this week, Ryback made a Mount Rushmore of his
So true.
of wrestling for himself. So let's watch the TikTok and see who's on Ryback's Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Please, please.
Ryback's Mount Rushmore.
Shit. I can't breathe.
Yo, I'm the big guy, Ryback, and this is my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. I want to start off by clarifying that any four people are the most four important people. These lists are all subjective. Everybody's going to have their differing opinions, but everybody is important in pro wrestling, and there's no really such thing as a Mount Rushmore. But this is mine for all sakes and purposes. I think it's important to get people from different eras of pro wrestling. It's very difficult to just narrow this down. I think we all know it's bullshit and silly. But if we're going to do it, let's do it. Number one, Bruno Sammartino. Don't think too many people are going to argue with me on that. Number two, Hulk Hogan. Number three, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number four, this is where things get fuzzy. There's a lot of amazing talents in today's era. Right. But, guys like Cena, Reigns, they've just got plugged into the program. They really haven't done anything to further the business, and a lot of guys haven't. But this is where I come in, the big guy Ryback. And while I didn't have the longest,
did it come back? Hold on,
not over. First of all, but I've had the balls and the courage to speak up on things which is changing the business from the outside in, and I'm going to go back into it. Now, a lot of old timers and fucking complainers don't like this shit because they didn't have the balls to speak up on it, and I do. And that's the last bite. Feed me more.
Oh, God.
Weird.
You know, the fact that he made that video, he still didn't pick a good picture of himself.
Yeah.
You've got thousands of headshots from when you were in WWE that you could have used that were professionally done, and you picked that.
Or take a current picture of himself with the gear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just use that. But instead, you took some janky
What happened to
photo.
this man? What happened to this man?
Ryback?
Yeah, like back when he was like on the very top, there was no word of like him being this fucking nuts. Something happened to that man where he just went off the cliff.
They took the rods out.
Yeah.
All right, the stream's back up on Twitch. I don't know what the hell happened.
I blame Ryback and his tinfoil hat.
Okay, we're gonna replay the first one, and I apologize for the guests that are here, and y'all have to rewatch it. I want the people in the chat to have to hear this.
Ryback had it.
Ryback got us canceled. If it happens again, I'm moving on to the next video. Y'all ready?
Yep.
This is my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. I want to start off by clarifying that I don't think that any four people are the most four important people in pro. Okay. These lists are all subjective. Everybody's going to have their differing opinions, but everybody is important in pro wrestling, and there's no really such thing as a Mount Rushmore. But this is mine for all sakes and purposes. I think it's important to get people from different eras of pro wrestling. It's very difficult to just narrow this down.
Yes.
I think we all know it's bullshit. But if we're going to do it, let's do it. Number one, Bruno Sammartino. Don't think too many people are going to argue with me on that. Number two, Hulk Hogan. Number three, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number four, this is where things get fuzzy. There's a lot of amazing talents in today's era. But, guys like Cena, Reigns, they've just got plugged into the program. They really haven't done anything to further the business, and a lot of guys haven't. But this is where I come in, the big guy Ryback. And while I didn't have the longest career's not over, first of all. But I've had the balls and the courage to speak up on things which is changing the business from the outside in, and I'm going to go back into it. Now, a lot of old timers and fucking complainers don't like this shit because they didn't have the balls to speak up on it, and I do. And that's the last bite. Feed me more.
So my question is, who put themselves on their own Mount Rushmore, and also who uses an AI image of themselves?
Dude, I asked because I didn't want to interrupt, but I said, in my head and typed it out. What the fuck was up with his eyes in that picture? Why did he look like a White Walker from Game of Thrones?
He's trying to be Johnny Sins.
Dude, those baby blue eyes. Goddamn, they were fake. Like, that was obviously fake.
Context.
Right.
Kids, don't do drugs. They're bad for you.
I hate myself for the fact that I used to be a Ryback mark back in the day. Like when he was a baby face and he was actually hitting on all cylinders. I was at Raw Live when he made that 2014 return and to go up against the Authority and whatnot. And I popped for it, but now I'm disappointed in myself.
We forgive you, Alex.
We forgive you, Alex. Okay.
Thank you.
Dad Hat says, I'm not blocked by him, but I don't pay attention either. But what I've noticed is when I'm on TikTok and he's live, he just has young women on the live with him. He does those battle things. But you know what else I've noticed? And this is going to sound weird as shit. As somebody who, because again, I'll put YouTube over, hit the like button, subscribe button. Thanks for commenting. Leave us a review and all that on YouTube. It's historically our most popular segment on Spotify and YouTube now. Because apparently everybody agrees with us. Like everybody is just entertained by the fact of how delusional fucking Ryback has got. Yeah. Like that's what's entertaining about him. His content isn't like at this point, I almost think it's a work.
I mean, if it is, then I give him credit. If it actually is a work, he is smart. I'll never know again though. He blocked me on TikTok because I called him out in the comments of one of his live videos for not retiring after CM Punk made his return at Survivor Series like he said he would.
I got in a lot of trouble for that with him too.
Yeah, he blocked me for that one.
Oh my gosh.
He called me a fucking mark the last time I was in his live because I made a comment about it. And I made a comment on the Twitter thing because that's what got me blocked on Twitter was I pretty much made the Botch Bots and Share Shots account was nothing but daily marketing for his poll for him to retire. Like we were spamming it daily, like go vote on this poll for Ryback to retire. Like,
so you're the reason that kept hitting that.
I was bored and I was sick at the time, in and out of the hospital when all that was happening. There wasn't a whole lot to keep me busy. So
I can make an impact here.
I picked an internet war with Ryback. No big deal.
Hey, people did the same thing with the Young Bucks years ago or JBL. Oh, I got blocked by JBL on Twitter years ago too during the Fire JBL thing.
We've got one more from Ryback before we switch it over to Match of the Week.
Oh, please.
So this one's about social media. 2 for 1 this week, guys.
Hell yeah.
You got to remember, social media is amazing when used for good in a positive and loving way. But it allows the lowest on the totem pole access to the highest on the totem pole, and it is up to us to use it properly. Post, live our lives, and let the trash burn in the comments. And that's the last bite. Feed.
So, like, that's all good and well, Ryback, but you literally come after anyone in the comments who doesn't agree with you or has anything to, like, say about you. Like, he gets all up in arms about, like, his, like, people aren't seeing his tweets and he's not getting enough engagement. Nah, bro, stop blocking people. And you might get some engagement. But you block too many people. If you block too many people, the algorithm doesn't like you.
That and people don't like you in general as it is.
Yeah. He's on this, like, since the beginning of the year. He's been, like, left-ish, like, posting, like, for a while he was posting just, like, CM Punk hate, like, the whole time. But now he's, like, trying to make himself some sort of, like, motivational speaker. And I really don't understand, like, the light and positivity Ryback we're getting right now. I'm waiting for him to go back to his heel phase.
Hashtag fragile Phil.
Hashtag fragile Phil. All right, Bo, it's to you, my friend.